Good morning. It is Wednesday, August, 26th. And I thought this morning I would give you a tour of the classroom. You physical science people have not been in my classroom yet because it's been pretty weather and we've been outside on the patio, right? But we have the remainder of a hurricane that will be coming through later this week. And so it's very likely to be pouring down rain one day or the other, or maybe both, for the rest of this week. So I thought it would be good for me to give you a little tour of the classroom. Oh, look, hey, check it out. Can you see my arm? There's a wasp on my arm. I will put extra effort into killing that wasp before you guys get to the classroom, I promise. Physics was here meeting inside this week, but again, you guys in physical science and advisory will be here later this week. So, tour of the classroom. Here's where you'll come in. Again, this is room 302, so it's upstairs. If you have Ms. Jones for English, or Mr. Walker for math, or Ms. Jordan for, I don't know, civics, economics, something, I am on her hallway, close to the big stairway. So, on their hallway, close to the big stairway. Anyway, that's the door to room 302. That's where you'll come in. There's a bookshelf right here with physics and chemistry books on it. That's just notebooks and stuff. That's like announcements and things like that on the door. Here's a poster about spotting bad science. We'll talk about that later in the year. On your right as you come in, you'll see my office, which is always a mess. Don't go in my office, please. Not so much because there's super important stuff in there, but there are some chemicals I don't want you to get into, and also like germs and stuff, right? So please don't go in my office unless I specifically ask you to, which I probably won't. This is our shower. When we're doing chemistry stuff, if we get chemicals on us, you'll step under this and pull this and it will rinse you off. Please do not do that unless you really need to, because obviously it makes a huge mess, right? On the wall, on the physical science side of the classroom, you'll see a bunch of rubber band cars that students have made in the past. This is a project we'll do when we start physics. A little bit later in the year if we can. We'll see how COVID guidelines are. Regular old periodic table, you guys will make your own one way or the other, no matter where we are, at home, at school. So I teach AP Physics, and this is a copy of the formula sheets that the AP Physics students get when they take their test. So we have those on the wall just so they'll feel comfortable and less scary when they get to that test in the spring. Here's the version of the formula sheet that the AP2 students get. So in physical science, we will refer to those a little bit just because, some of the stuff we do in physical science is on that too. We start physics in physical science. So we'll refer to those, but if you're looking at them and you're like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of math and that's super terrifying, it's okay. In physical science, we won't do very much from those formula sheets this year. Behind me, when I get to teach earth science, which hopefully will be starting next year, this will end up being the earth science wall. You can see that on the counter behind me, there's a whole bunch of rocks. I really like earth science. That's what my undergrad or my bachelor's degree is in. I've really been wanting to teach earth science, and as soon this year I was going to, but there was this confusion about scheduling. So hopefully some of you will sign up for earth science when you're upperclassmen, and I will get to have you again to learn about rocks and earth processes and things like that. There are some tanks right here. We'll use those as examples of how sediment works when we're in earth science. This is called the Ask Board. As the year goes on, if you have questions about science that we don't get to in class, and this doesn't have to be stuff that we cover in class, this can be just anything related to science. Stick it up there on the board, and when I can, in one of these videos, I'll cover either an answer to your question or a way for you to figure out the answer yourself. A lot of times, questions like the ones that you ask can be answered with Google if you know what to search for, but I'll help you find some of those things. So if you have a question about, I don't know, space or anatomy or I don't know, whatever. I'm not very good at biology, but I'll try to help you with questions like that if you have them. So it doesn't have to be something we're covering in physical science. It can be something that you're just curious about science. This is a poster my husband gave me, and I think it's super cool. It doesn't have any political boundaries on it. There's no states or anything like that on this. It's just kind of a relief map of the United States. So you can see, like, this part is pretty flat, and here we have the Rocky Mountains. And the whole western U.S. is also pretty mountainy. So anyway, in earth science, if nothing else, we'll talk about that. There's a Keurig machine and there's a microwave. And if you're in AP Physics, you're allowed to use those. And if you're a ninth grader, you're not, because that's just the way it is. The board, this is some stuff physics is working on, because again, they're meeting in the classroom and you're not. But you'll be here later, right? Here's a picture of a guy caving. We used to cave a lot, and caving is really interesting, so we'll probably talk about that as much as I, can figure out an excuse to do it. Here's a picture of me posing as an astronaut. I'm really not an astronaut, but I think it's a cool picture. Here's a picture of my dog, who comes to school as a service dog sometimes, and you will meet him. His name is Hayduke, so you'll probably meet him next week. I'm trying to do without him. This week. Here's a quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. We'll talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson a lot this year. I'm not going to read it backward, and if I do it by memory, I'll probably get it wrong and you'll laugh. So anyway, we'll talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson a lot this year. So that is your introduction to science class, to the science classroom anyway. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here in either the room with me or the patio or joining my classes on an online meeting. I have read I've read all of your responses to the questions that I've asked in Edpuzzle. Some about, like, how are you doing? How are you feeling about this school year? What are you worried about? And your responses have been really interesting. I was going to talk about some of them this morning, but our video is already about 7 minutes long. So I'll let you go for today. I hope that you have a good day. I'll look forward to seeing you one way or the other in class today. And let me remind you that if you have any questions about your schedule or whatever, please feel free to ask. I'll help you if I can. Okay? Have fun. Learn lots. I'm here if you need me.